Welcome to PWS United, a podcast for the Prader-Willi syndrome community, brought to you by PWSA USA. This podcast gives the latest news in research, advocacy, and family support by bringing together staff, volunteers, PWS treatment specialists, biotech and pharmaceutical representatives, caregivers, family members, and individuals with PWS. Our goal is to share education, awareness, and resources with those living with PWS and their supporters. Join us in our mission to enhance the quality of life and empower those affected by Prader-Willi syndrome.
Good morning, Carrie.
Hi, Annie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's the start of the big holiday break, so my girls are home and just trying to wrap my head around life.
Yes.
I guess. But how are you
in
doing?
Great company.
Yeah,
I'm
you're on a
doing
big
really
trip.
Yeah, I am. It's my family's turn to have us for the holidays this year, and my mom could not be more excited. She's
I
always so
bet.
funny. She has everything planned down to a T, from meals to activities to what family we're seeing when, and she just goes all out. So yeah, we're gonna have a great week here. And then I know you get to take some time off next week, which will be amazing. I think
Yes.
at the end of the year, you're like, I just need a little reset.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I'm not going anywhere though. Just staying
Staycation.
here. Yeah, my oldest is in town, and yeah, so we'll do some family stuff. Her and her dad were supposed to go snowboarding, but they're not now because she just had wrist surgery. So
Oh, well, yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense. Yep, that's smart.
she
It's
can't
what
even.
doctors would probably order.
Yeah,
No snowboarding.
yeah, she can't even open like a jar of honey. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But as we were saying, when kiddos come home, they're like, let me get all of my dentist and
Yep.
medical appointments done here so that mama can take care of me.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you have a great holidays, Annie. I think
Yeah, it'll be
it'll
good.
be
We
awesome.
have, there's a lot of our friends out here, a
Mhm.
lot of
Oh, sure.
transplants from different parts of the country. So we do like big family Christmas Eve and Christmas dinner, but it's none of us are actually related.
Oh,
You
well,
know,
that's fun. Yeah,
yeah, it's
friends
nice.
become family, right?
Yeah, yeah, we all miss our families, but it's nice to have each other.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be wonderful. I feel the same. I'm feeling very blessed to be
Yeah,
with family and friends that I
good.
miss often.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Well, good. I'm glad you're there and your mom has got it all figured out.
she's on top of it.
So, as we're talking about the holidays, Carrie, I just want to make sure that we remind people or let people know that next week our podcast will be silent. There will not, well, will be silent. There won't be a new episode coming out because we are enjoying our family and our friends and our holiday time. And there's just a lot to do.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity, just end of the year to take a little time, a little break, a little, refresh, reset
yeah.
moment. So, yes, we're going to just have 1 week off, and we will definitely, though, be back.
So, if you miss us and you haven't listened to all the episodes, you can go back and listen to the episodes that you've missed, or maybe there was one that was your favorite. You can go back and listen to that one, or you can also take the week off. Either way. But we just want to let you guys know that don't worry, we'll be back. We're just taking a little break.
All right. Well, let's get into our 113th Pulse edition that was sent on December 20th. And speaking of end of year holiday cheer, we are just about to wrap up our Give the Gift of Hope Angel Drive campaign. And we want to give just a massive thank you to all of our friends and families who have donated to this campaign. Your donations help fund the many incredible ways that we support individuals with PWS and their families. We could not do this without your support. Our Angel Drive does end on December 31st, so please consider making a contribution to our largest fundraiser of the year. And we also encourage you to share with your friends and family if they're looking for a worthy cause to support this holiday season. So again, we greatly appreciate all of your efforts to help us support the PWS community, and you can find a link to donate in our show notes. And I did want to give one quick little update here as well, Annie. So as hopefully many of our listeners know, we had an amazing prize raffle as part of this campaign this year that was, if you donated by December 15th, you were automatically entered into this great prize raffle to win one of 4 amazing gifts. And we are still counting the mailed in donations and checks that are dated up to December 15th. So I spoke to our wonderful director of development, Melanie, about that. And she just wanted me to give a quick update that in the first few weeks, if not mid-January, we should have the announcement of who those winners are. So stay tuned for that.
Yes. All right. I'm sure people are definitely anxious to hear.
I know. I am excited to share who those lucky winners are. I know there's a lot of good stuff that was part of those prize packages. So that'll be a great little gift for those people, a little bonus for the year. And then I also wanted to share that we have another great Hope in Action video that highlights our amazing CEO, Stacy Ward. And she just gives a recap of 2024 of a lot of the great ways that donations, help supported the different programs and events that we were able to host. And then how some of these donations for Angel Drive 2024 will go towards our events and programs in 2025. So what some of those are. So I wanted to leave everyone with a little quote from that great video that she put together for us. So she said, as 2024 is coming to an end, I want to take a moment to just say thank you. I am so grateful to each of you for placing your trust in us and allowing us to walk alongside you during life's most vulnerable moments. I recognize the courage that it takes to seek help and to share your story. Your trust is a profound gift, and it fuels our commitment to provide compassionate care, resources, and support to those who need it most. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey and for inspiring us every day and for being an essential part of our mission. So thank you, Stacy, for that great message. And we will also be sharing a little happy holidays email today, actually. And that includes a lot of the great ways, again, your dollars have gone to support PWSA and the families that we serve. All right, moving on now to our Spotlight on Hope story. This one is amazing, Annie. I love it so much, especially it speaks to my walker runner soul. I apologize if I mispronounce this. It's Clara or Clara, but I'm going to go with Clara. Clara is a 14-year-old living with PWS. She recently took 3rd place in her age group in a half marathon.
That is insane.
Insane.
So cool.
I was lucky to finish my half marathon. It was a really big struggle. So I'm so proud of her. That's incredible. But she ran her first 5K race at just 5 years old and recently began competing in, Annie, I don't know how to pronounce this. Duathlons?
Ooh, that sounds right. Duathlons.
Let's go with that. Duathlons, which is a multi-sport endurance event. So Clara enjoys participating in these events, making friends, and shining with her strengths. Clara and her family are proud of these incredible accomplishments, and so are we at PWSA USA. And we encourage you to read the full story about Clara's amazing run at the link in our show notes. Annie put a nice blog together for this. So we highly, highly encourage you to go read it and find some more information or inspiration about it. So a big congratulations to Clara on this. I'm stunned.
Yeah, it's
so proud of her.
I mean, what amazing work she did. I ran a 10K once. I'm not a runner, but it was like a New Year's Eve, like over a shot of whiskey. Yes, I'll run the Clam Beach run. And then 2 months later or a month later, I was like, oh, I'm running a 10K today. So my goal was to, I jogged a little bit here and there, but my goal was to make it across the finish line before they took it down. And it was like, it was so beautiful because it started in one of the towns up here, which is right on the coast. And then so you're jogging on this road that's like overlooking the ocean. And then you go down to the beach and you have to cross a creek. And then it's like 2 miles or 3 miles on the beach, which I did not like. But I liked the first part.
Struggle running on the beach. Yeah, that's really hard.
And my shoes are wet because I had run through the creek. And it's not warm here. So I
Well,
don't
I
know.
think Clara could do it.
I think she could.
All that to
Well,
say,
yeah, like I was getting like right at the start, I was passed by like little kids. And then also like I remember a guy in like a
I
some
can just picture that.
unicorn suit or something. I don't know. I
Oh,
was like, I'm just gonna pace myself. And I
you're
made
just
it.
gonna be
I
in
was like in the
the zone.
middle. It was like I did it in like an hour and something.
That's
Anyway,
great.
but it was hard. It was really hard. And so a 5-year-old running a 5K is just beyond me.
Blows my mind. Yeah, and honestly, such a small percentage of like the world runs half marathons, like has run a half marathon. I want to say it's like 1%. It's so small. So for her to be able to do that and
Yeah.
at 14,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
amazing.
And with
Yeah,
PWS.
you
Good on
don't,
you,
yeah,
Clara.
let that hinder your strengths and what you
Right.
want to do in life. You just go after it. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her for achieving that goal, and I'm sure we'll see more of her races in the future.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Absolutely. Yep.
So all that to say, our Spotlight on Hopes are such inspirational and moving stories that we love sharing. And in 2025, we want to continue sharing these stories as much as possible. So we invite you all listening to please go fill out our Spotlight on Hope form. You can find the link in our show notes. And no success is too small to share. Whether they just took their first steps, they had a great time at the school dance, made a shot at a basketball game, working towards any kind of goal, we want to celebrate all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So please go and fill out that form at any point, and you will find it on our social medias and in our Pulse newsletters.
Yes. We look forward to reading more of those because we do really enjoy them. We're going to move on to events and fundraisers. And the first event, well, it's not really, it's an ongoing event, but is our Rare Aware Art Share. And we just wanted to let you all know that we have extended the deadline for theme number 3, which is what is your favorite birthday memory? And we just know that with the holidays coming up, preparing for the holidays, the work we've been doing here, and all the stuff that's going on with school and at home, that maybe this got a little overlooked. So we would like to give you all the rest of the month of January to get these art pieces made, created, and submitted because we really are excited to share these at our 50th birthday party at the conference. You do not have to be an attendee to submit artwork for this. And if you've submitted to the other themes, you're totally welcome to submit to this one as well. This is for individuals with PWS of any age from anywhere in the world. No parameters other than, we're looking for art from individuals with PWS and creating something on the theme. What is your favorite birthday? And maybe questions you can ask them to inspire them. It's like, well, how do you like to celebrate your birthday? Or what do you love about birthdays? What do birthdays mean to you? That kind of stuff. So just the idea, like the theme of birthdays is what we're going for. So anything that they create, take a picture of it and send it to us digitally, and we'll take it from there.
Absolutely.
So, and we'll put a link to that to submit art for that in the show notes. And of course, we are coming up on our 2025 International PWS United in Hope Conference that we are putting on with IPSO and FPWR. And this will be in June of 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona. And so if you are interested in learning more and coming and being a part of it, we're filling up. Like people are
We are.
signing up. Yeah, we're filling up. Rooms are filling up. Camps are full. So,
We have more than 600 people registered to attend so far, and we're still months out. So I encourage everyone to really
yeah,
start, thinking about that and making some decisions soon about whether you are able to come or not. I mean, everyone is invited, everyone's welcome. So we want as many people as possible to be part of, especially this historic event of having all 3 PWS organizations putting this on together in like
yeah,
an international effort. So
yes. And just one
yeah.
big giant PWS community. I'm so excited. Can't wait. It'll be
The
awesome.
last few days, Annie, of the conference, the family program days, we have the entire Grand Resort and Spa Resort to ourselves too.
Wow.
So it's just going to be packed with our community. And I think that's just the feeling around that is going to be so special.
Yeah.
So yeah, like everyone you run into will know what PWS is. They will be able to
Yep.
connect with you. It's a special thing. So we can't wait.
Yeah. Ah, yep. So get on that. And we also have the save the date for Clint Hurdle's Hot Stove Dinner. And that is going to be March 22nd, 2025 at the Bradenton Country Club in Bradenton, Florida. So we will have more information on that and a link to come, but we just want to let you all know that this amazing, incredible, fun event that a lot of people like to go to, it will be happening on March 22nd. So mark that on your calendars. We don't usually talk about the podcast on this because we are the podcast.
We are the podcast.
So
You're listening to it.
you're
Yes.
listening. Just to point, if this is your first episode that you're listening to, we just wanted to point you in the direction of our podcast library of the episodes that we've put out already. And especially last week, we put out the Meet the Staff episode, and it's kind of a long one, but we had a really good time making it, and we got to interview most of the staff members. And so it's a good opportunity to learn a little more about what PWSA USA does and what the individual people that work for us do, how we're connected to the PWS community via, work and family and kids and all that stuff. And so I just think it's a good opportunity to just get to know us a little better. So definitely check that out if you haven't already.
Absolutely. I know I learned a lot more about people, so I'm sure the community will too.
Yeah.
Because I work with them every day. All right. So moving on now to advocacy. We have a couple spotlight on advocacy stories that we want to start with here. And the first one shines a light on inclusive advocacy in action. So advocating for individuals with Prader-Willi syndrome means embracing every voice and every story. At PWSA, we believe that expanding diversity efforts is essential to ensuring every family feels seen, heard, supported, and receives their PWS diagnosis as early as possible. Deanie Rao, who is mom to Ione, an 8-year-old living with PWS, has experienced firsthand the necessity of advocating for every individual and family with PWS and has put this need into action in DC and elsewhere. She is one of the co-founders of the BIPOC Affinity Group, and BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color. And through efforts like the BIPOC Affinity Group and events like the DC Fly-In, PWSA continues to address disparities, educate medical professionals, and ensure every family, regardless of background, has access to the support they need. We encourage you to read Deanie's amazing story and how PWSA USA's advocacy seeks to address the needs of every family by visiting the link in our show notes that will have all of this great information. So a big shout out to Deanie for continuing to address, the inclusive advocacy in our community and the ways that we're trying to make that happen more often and more prevalent in everyone's lives. And one more little thing before we move on. If you and your loved one with PWS are in the BIPOC community and would like to learn more about this great affinity group, you can email BIPOC, BIPOC, PWS @gmail.com. The next great spotlight story is actually one of Soleno Therapeutics' Our Stories featured videos, and it showcases Elaine Towle and her son, Jim. So Jim and Elaine share their journey with Prader-Willi syndrome, and through resilience, a strong community, and a positive outlook, Jim has embraced new experiences, finding ways to participate in activities that empower him toward a more independent adult life. And in this Our Stories featured video, Jim and Elaine's story explores the power of family support and commitment in overcoming the challenges of PWS. So we encourage you to go and watch that in the link in our show notes. And speaking of Elaine, she's been a busy lady. She's been working with Dorothea actually on Capitol Hill recently. So we had a little update to share from them. So both Elaine and Dorothea recently represented the rare disease community in impactful meetings on Capitol Hill with several senators, and they had discussions focusing on advancing key legislative priorities for 2025, including rare disease drug development, improving Medicaid access for children, and addressing prescription drug affordability. A lot of very important key topics that we want to see more action around. So I'm glad that they were able to have those conversations. They also attended the in-person community Congress meeting, which was hosted by the Rare Disease Legislative Advocates Group, and that highlighted anticipated legislative victories and strategies for the coming year. There had also been high hopes that Congress would finalize and pass a bipartisan continuing resolution, or CR, health package with plans for a vote before the holiday recess. However, after bipartisan negotiations, the CR has been significantly stripped down, and several critical health provisions that were once expected to pass have been removed. So we highly encourage you to go visit the link in our show notes to read what is left in this CR, what has been lost, the next steps in Congress, and what all of this means for our rare disease community. And while this development is not the most hopeful news for our community, we will continue to push for progress in 2025 and beyond, and we will continue to give updates as they become available as well.
Yes, thank you, Dorothea and Elaine, for representing in DC, and thank you to all our advocates who have worked so hard and who will continue to work hard alongside us as we keep demanding a better life.
Absolutely. There's a lot of work
Um,
that, needs to be done for our community. And
yeah.
we've really worked so hard. And at minimum, we do have a very large presence now on Capitol Hill, which that speaks volumes. I think that is in itself a huge accomplishment. But I think obviously there's always more work to be done. So we will just keep showing up. We will keep going back, and we will keep talking to our senators and representatives and make sure they know what our needs are. So there's a lot of hope and there's a lot of momentum, and Dorothea is so inspiring and
hmm
is going to continue to light those fires.
Yeah, absolutely. So perhaps we should have titled this pulse the Elaine edition because she also
She has some great insight. We love her.
we do. We love Elaine so much. So Elaine submitted a blog for our PWS and Adulthood blog series, and we called it Managing Living Situations. So this blog highlights the creativity, resilience, and tenacity of finding the right living situation for a loved one with PWS. And as Elaine wrote in her blog, living situations for people with disabilities work great until they don't anymore. And so that's kind of the theme of this blog is, when it stopped working, then how do they figure out what else works? And so Elaine shared with us what those situations have looked like for James when they knew they weren't right anymore and how they navigated the path to a situation where James is happy and healthy and successful and safe. Yes. So if you're interested in learning about this, then follow the link in our show notes. It's a great blog. I really enjoyed reading it, and I'm grateful that she put it out there. And we are definitely looking for more PWS and adulthood blogs, and we'll have a form up on the website soon, right after the holiday break. But if you're ready to write one now, because we really want to keep putting them out every month. So if you have an adult in your life with PWS that you care for, and you want to answer some questions about their living situation or maybe their relationships or their work life or if they're going to school or just anything to share. We definitely want to highlight our adults with PWS, and we want to learn from them, learn about them. We want to just let them be seen more. I feel like there's so much. We know so much about school age. And
Right.
so we just really need to get more information and exposure for adults living with PWS. So you can email me AFRICKE at pwsausa.org and just check in with me or write it up, whatever. Just get in
We're
touch with me.
flexible.
Yeah. And I'll help you through it. So our Ask Nurse Lynn for this week was from a female who is 66 years old, unknown subtype. And this is about tapering lorazepam. So this was submitted by the woman's sister, and she said, my sister has been on 5 milligrams lorazepam 2 times a day for anxiety for 10 years. Since this drug was added to her regimen, her behaviors have been manageable with few periods of aggression. In the past, she has been extremely out of control, even to the point of breaking both of her arms. Her psychiatrist for the past 2 years, who has never met her, who has never had a Prader-Willi patient, is insisting on weaning her off of lorazepam. I understand the drug is not intended for long-term use, but it is working, and at her age, is it worth putting her through the mental torment that reducing the drug could cause? What can we, as her family, expect to occur with her behaviors? I would appreciate any advice. So, of course, Nurse Lynn had a very informative and compassionate response. And so if you would like to read that response, the link is in our show notes. When you go to the blog, you'll also find that there is a place for you to submit your own Nurse Lynn question, non-emergency medical question for Nurse Lynn, and we will get back to you with some advice and how we can help and things like that. So this Nurse Lynn column is a great way to get more information. And it's great because then we can share it. We share it out on social media, and then people who have similar experiences or similar questions, they get answers. So yeah, don't be afraid to share. Send your questions in. Moving on from Nurse Lynn, we also wanted to celebrate Dr. Destiny Pacha, who wrote the book It Starts with Hello. And this book has won the International Impact Book Award in Children's Education for December 2024. Dr. Pasha has worked in the public education system for more than 20 years, and she now works very closely with the PWS community. And if you've been around here for a while, I'm sure you've heard her name. She's had the book, she's had some family support webinars, she has some stuff that's coming up in 2025 that she's going to be doing for the PWS community. So we're just really grateful that she's here and doing her thing. So this children's book follows Katie and her companions as they navigate a day at school. Katie, who is living with PWS, embraces the challenges but never allows them to hinder her enjoyment and engagement with friends. So we are very grateful to Destiny, and we want to offer the biggest congratulations on her book winning the International Impact Award. And of course, we'll have a link in the show notes to the video of Destiny reading her book.
Yes. It's so fun. And I was I filmed it when I was in Orlando last year, and she lives there. So she graciously came to the house that I was staying in on vacation. We talked about the book, and she did this amazing reading on video that, we'll have on our YouTube page forever. So at any point, please go and check that out. It's beautiful, and share it in the classroom, or encourage the teachers to do that, through at any point during the year. I think it's so informative, and it really does shine a light on inclusivity. So go, Dr. Pasha. All right, moving on to our research section now. This first announcement, Annie, I think a lot of the community may already know about it because we put it out and it was announced a couple weeks ago, but it had not been in a Pulse newsletter yet. So we wanted to make sure that those on our email list were able to see it and learn about it as well. But the announcement is that the FDA has extended its review of the new drug application for Soleno Therapeutics DCCR, a potential treatment for hyperphagia in individuals with PWS. So the new decision date is now targeted for March 27th, 2025, and it was originally December 27th, 2024. And this allows the FDA additional time to review some updated information. No safety, efficacy, or manufacturing concerns were cited, and DCCR remains under priority review, a sign of its potential importance for our community. We are completely committed to keeping the community as updated as possible throughout this process, and we will share any new information as soon as it becomes available. And again, that March date is the target date. So we might learn before, we might learn on that date. It's really up in the air and up to the FDA. So we'll share it as soon as we know with the community and what that means. All right, moving on. So we still have a month left for the call for abstracts deadline date for our 2025 International PWS Conference Clinical and Scientific Program. And this is for healthcare professionals, medical professionals, providers in the PWS space to submit an abstract on projects that you're working on or research, initiatives that you're doing that you can have highlighted at our conference. So that deadline date is January 31st, 2025, and we will have a link in our show notes to learn more about the parameters around that and how you can submit. And finally, we have completed our Echo for PWS sessions for the 2024 year. And the Echo session actually launched in 2023. And we are proud to offer this opportunity to healthcare professionals who work with patients affected by PWS. And we were also the first PWS organization to implement Project Echo in the United States, which is always a very awesome accomplishment for PWSA USA. So the ECHO series touches on a wide range of healthcare topics in the PWS space and is available for healthcare professionals across the network to be part of and to come in and ask questions to our speakers and learn a lot more, specifically about PWS in those various spaces. So while our ECHO sessions are completed for 2024 with our latest webinar focusing on orthopedics with Dr. Harold Van Bossy, and that webinar is actually available now to view on our YouTube page, we do look forward to offering additional ECHO for PWS opportunities in the future. In the meantime, though, we invite everyone to go and watch the 2024 ECHO recordings at the link in our show notes. A lot of great information, a lot of great speakers. So, and a big shout out again to Lynn for managing that and getting it all together.
Yes, thank you, Lynn. And one more part of our pulse is the resource spotlight. And I chose to include a blog that I wrote last year, which I think it was one of the first blogs I wrote for PWSA. But in this time of year, a lot of people are traveling, and especially newer parents or people with new medication that have to be refrigerated, it can be a little daunting to think about traveling with refrigerated medicine. So this blog just kind of gives some tips on how to do that, whether you're traveling by plane or car, stopping, camping, whatever along the way. So hopefully some families will find this helpful to make it a little easier to travel, to go see family and friends and all that fun stuff, or go to the beach in Mexico, wherever you're going.
Whatever you decide to do.
It's all possible, and you can take your medicine with you. So there'll be a link to that in the show notes. All right, Carrie. Well, that is the pulse for this week. And before we go, I'm just wondering, do you have a mission moment that you would like to share with the community?
It's not necessarily a specific moment,
Okay.
but because it's the end of the year, I really, in true Carrie fashion, I love saying thank you like 100 times in these episodes. But I really just want to put out a thank you to the community, especially to those who have been embracing this podcast. Annie and I love being able to do this. And with this initiative still being, only a few months old, we've gotten great feedback and see a lot of great reviews being shared on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And it just warms our hearts. We honestly just saw this as an additional platform that we could share information about Prader-Willi syndrome, needed, information about Prader-Willi syndrome, and continue to share, the community stories in a different way. So just, again, a huge thank you to those out there listening who have shared their stories, who have sent us and given us reviews. We're just eternally grateful for you to be here. And we can't wait for 2025. We got more in store.
Well said, Carrie. Yes, we're grateful to all of you for being here and for listening. And yeah, we hope you all have wonderful holidays. And we'll see you in 2025.
Happy holidays. Thank you for listening to this episode of PWS United. If you want to learn more about Prader-Willi syndrome and how PWSA USA is making strides in advocacy, family support, and research, visit www.pwsausa.org. And while you're there, we encourage you to sign up for our Pulse email newsletter to stay informed about the latest news, resources, and events. Don't forget to subscribe to the PWS United podcast so you never miss an episode. Our team is always available to support families and their loved ones living with PWS 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can call us at 941-312-0400 or email info@pwsausa.org. Catch a new episode next Tuesday, and until then, have a great week.